Ladies and gentlemen, birds and pigs, I present to you the first wave of the Commonwealth collection. Though as you can see, everything is inside these boxes, 4 of them in fact, and today we're gonna go through them. The contents of these boxes will be making their way to my eBay store starting on February 11th at 8:30 a.m. Though keep in mind, not everything will be listed immediately. Each Saturday following the initial drop will introduce more items to the market until these boxes are completely empty. Today, I'm here to show you everything you'll have the opportunity to buy. Inside these boxes are a mix of production items and development samples from Commonwealth Toy Novelty. We'll go through each box and take a look at each item one by one, so let's get right to it. Alright, we begin with box number 1. Now I've already opened these ahead of time, so we don't have to mess around on camera. So let's see what we got. I'm just going to take right off the top here. So we start off with a 5-inch 2nd gen chuck. Here's a 5-inch open beak owl, 2nd gen. Most of these will be either in the bag or new with tags. Very few won't have either. Here's a 5-inch Stella, 4th gen, in the bag with a sound chip. We have a 5-inch Devil Red, has a Walmart price sticker on his tag. Could be a 6-inch based on that. Here's a 5-inch Matilda, 2nd gen in the bag. All of these in the bag will also have the washing instruction tags as well, because they were either supposed to be sold in Angry Bird shops in person or Angry Bird shops online through Rovio themselves, right? Here is a 5-inch Helmet Pig, 2nd gen. Here is a 5.5-inch Terrence. Here's a 5-inch Space Red. So satisfying to see these in the bag, and if you do buy them in the bag, well, I advise you keep them in there. Here's a 5-inch King Pig. This one has a Target clearance sticker on it. Let's see, we have a 5-inch Darth Vader, and we have a 5-inch Nigel. We got a good variety of games in here as well. See, here's a 5-inch Jewel. All of her tags. See, we have a 5-inch Space Chuck. 3rd gen on the Space plushies in here, by the way. Here's another 5.5-inch Terrence, 2nd gen. Here's another 4th gen Stella, sound chipped. See, here's a... This one's interesting. Here's a 5-inch Pedro. But check out the tag on this. 4th gen tag. Yeah, that's not supposed to be there. The tush tag is correct with Angry Birds Rio on it. We have a 5-inch Helmet Pig, 2nd gen. 5-inch Chuck, 2nd gen. 5-inch Bomb, 2nd gen. So we have a lot of the classic characters in 2nd gen style in bags. Here's another one. 5-inch Bomb, 2nd gen. Right here is a 5-inch Blue. Here's the same plush, but the Good Stuff Toys version. The majority of these will be retail variations, but you will see a couple of good stuff here and there. Here's a 5-inch Nigel. We have a 5-inch Minion Pig. 2nd gen on this one too, though honestly looks a little bit bigger than 5-inch. Could be a 6-inch. Doesn't have a sound chip. Here's a 5-inch Frankenstein Bomb. Interestingly, with the tag actually behind his screw. Usually don't see that. It's either in front or on top. So, strange tag placement on that one. Same set, Devil Red. Then we have the Wizard Chuck. Not the updated Wizard Chuck, right? It's the original version. And to complete the set, here is your Pumpkin Pig. I know a lot of people are looking for this one. Pigs have always been some of the more popular plushies in the community, so there's that. Here's another 5-inch Minion Pig. This one with a 2nd gen tag. Pretty much identical to the one we just looked at that I thought looked a little too big. Same with that one. Here's a 5-inch Space Red. Another 6-inch Devil Red. New with tags. Here is a Good Stuff Toys Jewel. To go with your Good Stuff Toys Blue. Here's a Nico. Another Nico. Identical spec. Another Devil Red. So we got quite a few of these. So if you need Devil Red, we got you covered. If you want plushies in bags, we got you covered as well. How about a Star Wars Wave 2 C-3PO? Nice to see that one in the bag. Though it would be even better to see that one with a sound chip, right? Because the Wave 2 ones had unique sound chips. Alright, here's a more conventional looking Minion Pig with a Squeeze Me tag, 2nd gen. Very early one on this one. Touch tag says A11, so January 2011 on this one. Which means the Squeeze Me tag is actually attached to his ear. A lot of early ones had their Squeeze Me tags attached to the ear, and they later put it on the forehead. Here's a Space Chuck. We have a Pedro. No tags on this one besides his tush tag. It does have a sound chip. Yet another Devil Red. This one with no tag. 5-inch Nigel. All the tags. Open Decal once again. 2nd gen. 5-inch Space Bomb. And 5-inch King Pig. Still has the tissue paper in the crown to keep it shaping. Super satisfying to see that. So I advise if you buy that one, do not remove that. Otherwise the crown might lose its shape. It's so mint like that. It'll be one of the last ones in existence. Here's a Nico Angry Birds Rio. We have 3 of those that are fully tagged up. Here's an interesting one. It's complicated. From the Hogs and Kisses set. So you might see some packs here and there. That's a fun one. In the box too, which is super desirable. Alright, here's an 8-inch. 8-inch C-3PO. No sound chip on this one either. Here's an 8-inch blue. 8-inch Jewel. Once again, companion pieces there. Alright, back to the 5-inch, we have Space Bomb. Alright, here's a C-3PO with the sound chip. Doesn't sound very good though, but no tag besides the tush tag on that one. Here's a 5-inch Matilda. Here's a Darth Vader backpack clip. No cardboard backing on that one, just the side tag. Some more 8-inch down here. So X-Wing Luke Skywalker. No sound chip on that one. Here's a 8-inch Space Bomb. 8-inch Space Blue. This one with a sound chip. We have another 8-inch Space Blue. But this one, do take note, has the golden X-ray tag. So this is a early rare variation. Walmart exclusive, right? Like to see those X-ray tags in those. Too bad they only came on the 8-inch ones. Otherwise I'd try and collect a set of 5-inch. Here is a 8-inch Pedro. All the tags. We have 8-inch Jewel. And of course, another 8-inch Blue to go along with her. And then another 8-inch Pedro for good measure. So plenty of 8-inch Rio plushies. We have another Wave 2 Star Wars plush here. Yoda. No sound chip on this one either. No tags besides the tush tag. Here's a Chewbacca 8-inch. This one's probably from Wave 1 based on the fact it doesn't have a sound chip, but could be from Wave 2. But I know this one's from Wave 2. Same plush, but with the sound chip. And of course, has those unique sounds, right? And also has that weird tag that tells you to fluff the plush. So that's what I think it tells you to do. No one's exactly sure, right? Bizarre tag. Here's 8-inch Space Bomb. Well, things are about to get interesting. Both in a weird way and a good way. 8-inch Classic Bomb, right? 2nd gen tag. Well, here's another one of those. 2nd gen bomb. Another 2nd gen bomb. Make that another one. I think you see where we're going with this. And here's another one. This one has washing instruction tags. And guess what? How about another one? This one actually has a sound chip. So, a bit different on that one technically. And then we finish off box number 1 with our first unique item. How about this one? So, for those of you who don't know, well, Commonwealth had plans to release the Star Wars Wave 1 characters with their accessory. So in this case, Luke Skywalker with his blue lightsaber blade. So check that out. He's got Velcro on the side here too. He's got a little battery box, okay, with a speaker. And so if you put batteries in there, in theory, he makes sound. So you gotta press somewhere on the plush, but that's pretty neat. Check that out. So 8-inch lightsaber Luke. And so that finishes off box number 1. Now we're on to box number 2. On to box number 2. So as we go along here, we're going to start seeing more and more interesting items. And we start off with something pretty interesting here. So this is an item that, to my knowledge, was never actually released. This is a flying disc. Now, just to give you a sense for how big this is, it has a character face on it, an old tag up here, should have a tag in the back as well. Interestingly, the factory code in this one says SL. Never seen that before. But the tag is also 4th gen on this, and if you look at the Angry Birds logo, yeah, there's something not quite right about that one, right? Doesn't have the wood etching on it. So put that one off to the side, because we also have a bomb variation. Same exact thing, but with bomb's face, and, well, the 3rd gen tag. It does say not for retail sale on the back. So, are these supposed to be a Good Stuff exclusive item? I don't know. And they also came in 2 different sizes, so you also have this one. It's a larger red, and it has a Commonwealth sample tag. So this is what Commonwealth used to tag their samples. And on the back, usually write something on there. Sometimes a date, sometimes telling you what the product is. There's that. And we also have a larger size of bomb. This one with no tag at all. So sometimes samples will have tags, sometimes they won't. And it looks like we have a bunch of backpack clips in here. So here's a 4th gen bomb with the cardboard backing. I've always preferred the cardboard backing over the side tags, but that's just me. Here's another one. Here's another 4th gen bomb. So we're on another roll of bombs. So let's change that up real quick. We have a HAL. These were probably all in the same assortment of backpack clips. Here's a red 4th gen, which is why they're all 4th gen as well. Here's another HAL 4th gen. We have a blue for Angry Birds Rio. Probably the more common of the 2 Rio backpack clips. Don't see Jewel too often. Here's another one of those. Here's another bomb with almost like a tangent curve look to it. Kind of interesting on that one. The way the cardboard gets bent is, out of their control. Here's Princess Leia, Star Wars Wave 1. Obviously not the backpack clips from Star Wars we're looking for, right? Looking for the Wave 2 ones. Here's Darth Vader. Here's a Stormtrooper. Plenty of Star Wars Wave 1 backpack clips. Here's another Leia. Nice to see the cardboard backing, though. Always preferred that over the side tags. But some retailers preferred these, some preferred just the side tags, so that's why you see a little bit of both. Angry Birds movie, Matilda, and another Stormtrooper. And so here's what some of them look like with just the side tag. So 4th gen Minion Pig. Here's a 4th gen bomb. Here's another HAL with the cardboard backing. Here's a Space Red with a side tag. Here's another space backpack clip. We have Iceberg. Don't see these too often with the cardboard backing. Slightly less common, I guess. At least here in the United States. Here's a Han Solo. Here's another Vader. We saw Darth Vader earlier that didn't have the cardboard backing in the bag. And here is a mix of 4. 2nd gen classic backpack clips. So we have red, blue, Chuck, bomb. And you notice there's no Matilda in here. So it's not the classic 5 birds, it's the classic 4. So perhaps this could explain why we don't see the Matilda backpack clip too often. Because this was probably a bundle of 4 that was sold on maybe Shopped at Angry Birds or Toy Wiz or, some derivative of that. Alright, we have a 4-inch mini 1st gen Chuck. Like to see those 1st gen minis. Not too common here in the United States, though I know they are in the United Kingdom. Here's a 2nd gen mini red with sound chip. Sound chips are pretty hit or miss. Sometimes they function perfectly, sometimes, well, they're just dead or sound demonic. Here's something pretty similar to that red, a bomb, 2nd gen. Here's another Chuck, 4-inch mini, 1st gen, so identical plush. Alright, here is a bomb novelty hat. 4th gen tag. Tag is absolutely massive on these. It says hat on the bottom. So, that's pretty cool. Novelty hats were cool item, the 3-dimensional ones. The plush faces. Here's the pretty rare blue variation. Blue and Stella were only sold in Hallmark, some Angry Birds retail shops, and some online stores besides shop.angrybirds.com. Another 1st gen Chuck. This one with no side tag, but does have the tush tag for proof. Otherwise, it would be identical to the two we already looked at. Alright, here's one you don't see too often. How about this? An 8-inch Cupid Pig. Usually you see the Cupid Pigs that aren't 5-inch. They're always a Good Stuff Toys variation. Well, this one happens to be retail. So it does exist. I've never actually seen this item in person, so pretty cool to see that. Probably the rarest of the 4 main Hogs and Kisses plushies. Alright, here you go. Here's another weird novelty item. These are the Angry Birds slippers with red on them. These look pretty comfortable. So it's essentially they put the plush red on the end of 2 shoes. There's actually tags on the inside. I mean, what you would normally consider to be the tush tag. Though the red, bomb, and minion pig versions are the most common. There are other versions. Here is a Christmas bomb from the Season's Greeting set. New with tags. Don't see the 8-inch Christmas plushies all that often. Here's the red. Same set, of course, same tags. Here's an Easter Bunny red from the Easter egg set. So just with the generic side tag, of course. And of course, the 8-inch Easter plushies had the bendable wires in the ear, so you can actually pose them. I do wish the 5-inch versions of them had that. It'd be so much better than seeing their ears droop all the time. Here's a pretty fun one. 8-inch Leprechaun Pig from the Go Green Get Lucky set. I know these are super desirable, and you don't see the 8-inch ones too often. Here's an 8-inch Girl Bird, or what some fans like to call her Ruby, with all the tags. Sound chip. We have another Christmas bomb. There you go. Identical to the one we just looked at. Though I will say, the first one I picked up felt a bit heavier than that one. Not quite sure why. Alright, here's a Christmas red. Alright, and here's another Easter red. There's that for you. So, 8-inch Easter collectors. I got your back. And here is the Leprechaun red to go with that Leprechaun pig. So a lot of 8-inch Seasons plushies in here. Alright, here's another backpack clip. Just a blue, 2nd gen. Not much special about that one. Alright, and then we also have, on this side of the box, a bunch of these bags. Now, you can see, they're just an assortment of the 6 classic characters, right? So you got Red, Blue, Chuck, Bomb, Matilda, Minion Pig. But these are actually the Good Stuff Toys versions. And they're all brand new with tags and all that, and still in the bag, interestingly. So there's that for you. These ones actually appear to be the 6.5-inch size, so the in-between size that Good Stuff did, between 5 and 8-inch. And Good Stuff Toys, they were the ones that actually made these. So Commonwealth let them do their own thing. For other companies like White House Leisure, Commonwealth made the plushies for them. But they had a good relationship with the Good Stuff, so they just let Good Stuff do their thing, so that's why Good Stuff plushies look a little wonky. And here is the 8-inch ones. This one actually says FY production on it. So FY refers to the factory. So if you see a plush with a factory code in the back that says FY, well, you know it's a Good Stuff. You know, if the not for retail sale tag didn't already tell you that, or you know, the fact that it says, distributed by Good Stuff Toys. Alright, now, the last 5 items in this box. These ones are probably the most interesting, in my opinion. So, check this out. This looks like just any old regular fuchsia cage bird, right? Or pink cage bird, if you want to keep it more simple. Oh, check out the tush tag. That just says Angry Birds. It does not say Angry Birds Rio, correct? I'm not blind? How about this? This could be the first ever fuchsia cage bird ever made. Because it's a development sample. And then, in the same vein, how about the purple cage bird? Same exact thing. So it looks like we're gonna have a set of these development sample cage birds. All in 8-inch. For the time being, though we might see some 5-inch down the line. And here's the green one. The green cage bird. Development sample. Wow, it's surreal to actually be holding this. Alright, and these two, I know people are going to be excited for these. So first, here you go. Angry Birds Star Wars 2. Probably the most infamous cancel set in the history of Commonwealth toy novelty. This is the Silver C-3PO. In all of its glory. Very beautiful. surreal to actually be holding this, because really we only just had the one picture of this for all those years. Here I am, my hand, touching, and maybe your hand soon. That's so cool. So there's that. Copyright 2013 on that, of course. And then, to go along with it, we have an 8-inch Ewok. With a slingshot in the back here. I mean, look at how cool this thing is. The pattern is so high quality. I mean, of course it had to be, because they were trying to sell retailers on the idea of these existing. Which, of course, I guess never happened, because, well, sales of Angry Birds merchandise was on the decline to begin with, so... That's so cool. It's got little buck teeth. Very fuzzy, very furry. Neat to see the little slingshot stitched in the back, too. Copyright date on this one says 2012, so this is probably an earlier Star Wars 2 prototype. Cool to see that. And so, that does it for box number 2. Now on to box number 3. Alright, now on to box number 3. So, box number 3 is perhaps my favorite box, because I think it contains a lot of unique items. And I think you guys are going to like this one too. So picking off the top here, we have a lot of items that are in bubble wrap. So why are they in bubble wrap, you might ask? Well, you might be able to tell based on their tag. But if you cannot, I will show you. These are the Commonwealth Christmas ornaments. Okay? So obviously we're not just showing plush merchandise here, right? We have all sorts of merchandise, including ornaments. We saw the disc, we saw the hats, right? And the ornaments are a part of that. So I'm not going to take them out because it'd be a hassle to take all these out. Plus I don't want them getting damaged or anything. So, if you want to check these out, you're going to have to look at the eBay listings. See what styles we have. I can show you a few that are loose in here. Here's one of them. Just like the one I just showed you, except it's got 3 birds on the bottom. So we have red, Chuck, red, right? And all these are tagged too. You don't have to remove the tags. You can still put them on your tree, if that's how you want to do that, with the tag on. Here's a red ball with the Santa hat, and you can pair them with this pig. In the bag still with the tags, nicely mint they are. Alright, here's another one. So this actually has 4 different variations, as you can tell. So there was one with none, there's one with 1 with 2, and 1 with 3. The only one I don't have on me is the one with 1. It might be within the bubble wrap stuff. We'll find out. So that's for you variation collectors. And here's a King Pig ornament. You can tell it's King Pig because since he has the crown underneath his Santa hat there. Alright, let's get back to some of the plush merchandise. So, we have some blue backpack clips. I say some. There's 3 of them here, so got Jay, Jake, and Jim. You can have your triplet there. Alright, what else we got? We have a red backpack clip. All these are 2nd gen, by the way. Here's a Minion Pig. Also 2nd gen. Alright, here's some 4-inch minis. We have a 1st gen red 4-inch mini. No sound. We have an identical 4-inch mini red. Nice to see with the 1st gen tags. Got a bunch of true duplicates here. Here's a 2nd gen Chuck backpack clip. In the bag, of course. Here's an Angry Birds movie red. No cardboard backing, and, well, this wouldn't have had a side tag since these never came with side tags, so there's that. Kind of a random item. Here's a 1st gen Chuck mini. Saw a couple of these in box number 2. Here's a 4th blue backpack clip. So, James or John, I guess. If you want to add a 4th J to the triplets there. Here's a Matilda mini. 1st gen. Don't see this one too often. You could have gotten it as a single, but you could also get it in a multi-pack. Here's the Bomb, 4-inch mini. This one happens to be a 1st gen though, and no spot. I mean, it's not like that doesn't exist, but don't see that one too often either. Alright, here's another 4-inch mini red, also 1st gen. So that's our 4th one of those, correct? Make that 5. So this 5th one has a Squeeze Me tag and a sound chip, and no side tag, so kind of the opposite, kind of the same at the same time. We have a Space Chuck backpack clip with a side tag. This one's 3rd gen, and because it's 3rd gen, it would usually have a secondary tush tag telling you when it was made. So it would say like A12, B12, C12. This one, mysteriously, does not say anything. So is this a sample? Alright, moving on with the 4-inch minis. Here's a unique one. This is the Helmet Pig 4-inch mini. Noticeably smaller than the 5-inch, of course. This is an item that was never actually released. Guess they didn't find a multi-pack to put it in. But there you go. One of a kind, first gen. Iconic piece of merchandise right there. And here's a minion pig to go along with it. Of course, this character was released in several different packs. And as a single. Here's another mini 4-inch bomb, this time with a spot, and this time tagged. Very nice. Highly desirable bomb there. Here's an... this is an interesting one. This is an Angry Birds fanny pack. Another item that was never released. 2nd gen tags. This one actually has a plastic clip, adjustable strap. It's got a zipper. It says Angry Birds on the zipper. You can open it up. And on the inside, there's probably 10-year-old tissue paper in there, which I advise you keep in there if you do buy this item. It's got a red up front, kind of like a backpack clip, 3D plush, and it says Angry Birds. Pretty nice accessory there. I don't know what you would put inside, but I don't know, just probably an item worth displaying. And here's an item that's pretty similar, serves a similar purpose, I guess. How about this one? A coin purse. So, same thing. 2nd gen tagged. It's got a zipper in back, same zipper. Maybe a little bit smaller. But you can open that up and put some coins inside. So it's got a 3D red face, just like the plush. It's that. You can put it on your wrist. And I guess in theory you can put some coins in here, right? That's what it's called, a coin purse. And now, we actually have a minion pig as well. This one happens to have a Commonwealth sample tag. Show that. Well, that means we have bomb as well. Because Commonwealth love to use these three for the novelties, right? The novelty hats, the shoes, the stockings, we all know. See, we also have a couple of Stella plushies in here. These items have become increasingly valuable over the years as people try and backtrack and get these items they never bought when they were new. Available in Justice stores and Toys R Us. I know I didn't buy them when they were new. Here's another one, Poppy again. These, of course, have the bendable wires in their feathers, at least some of them do. Here's another Poppy. So 3 of those. And none of them have been delabeled like you sometimes see on eBay. I don't know, someone was delabeling them. I don't know who. That individual is quite evil, if you ask me. Here is Gale. None of these have the side tag, but again, they all have the tush tag. And they're all perfectly mint otherwise. I mean, look at the tails. Still rolled up on the scale here. Of course, the wires are in the tails on her. Alright, let's see what else we got. We got a Dahlia in here as well. There's that. So for those of you looking to complete your Stella plush collection, we got you covered. Alright. We have a 4th gen Minion Pig mini in here. Sound chipped as well. You don't see 4th gen minis too often. Let's see. Alright, let's get into some interesting items here. Here is a hatchling prototype. Check that out. So I know no one likes the hatchlings. They're essentially the minions of Rovio, right? There's probably a reason why they didn't make more of these. They actually only released 4 different colors. They released green, pink, red, and blue. Here's like a lavender, kind of faded pink one with purple feathers on it. I know I don't like the hatchlings, and I guess that one has a name too. I guess I don't really care what its name is, to be frank. Let's get on to the next item. Alright, this one. I'm gonna have to do a demonstration for you. So this looks like the blue novelty hat we just looked at, right? But check it out. It does not have the cross-eye design. It actually has the original dead stare design, as I call it. This entire item itself was never released, not even the pattern. Just check out these legs. They're super long, so I'm gonna put this thing on. Okay? So it's just like a novelty hat, maybe a little bit bigger. And I'm calling it a deluxe novelty hat. Since here, you can see there's little pockets. And you can stick your hands right in there. Get your hands nice and warm, while you're getting your head warm too. So it's a 2-in-1. So check that out. Old design blue novelty hat with pockets. Super, super cool. I kind of want to keep that one for myself, but That's kind of a goofy item. Don't know what to do with it. And plus I live in Florida, I have no use for that. Alright, this. Check this out. So, if you know your Commonwealth products well, you might be able to tell. This is the plush head to a Christmas stocking. So what's it doing here? And where's the stocking? Well, it's got the little loop up here. This one has a Commonwealth sample tag, so what's going on here? Is this some kind of sample or test for that? Well, the tag itself, I mentioned these tags actually say something on them. Okay, so this one says Blue AB Door Toy. And it's dated, I believe, August 6th, 2011. It's a door toy. So this thing, I guess you would just stick on a door handle or something like it? I don't really know what the use for that is, but we actually have one of these for each of the classic 6 characters. So we have Red. We have Chuck. Of course, Chuck, Blue, Matilda. You don't see those too often as stockings to begin with. Here's the Matilda. They're so weird to look at. They're essentially like flattened plushies with a little fabric loop on them. And there's the pig. Very interesting to see. You'll get some weird oddities like this in these boxes. When I first saw these, I thought these were definitely the Christmas stockings, but the tag says otherwise. I guess they're door ornaments or something like that, door decorations. How about some more cage birds? Looked at a couple of them in the last box. Here's the blue cage bird. Usually on the production blue cage bird, this bottom part is like a light blue. Here, it happens to be a white. And we actually have 2 of these. So I can find the second one. Here it is. We have 2. So check that out. You can have one of the first blue cage birds with a different color bottom. And along those lines, we also have the yellow cage bird. Now, this must be a Good Stuff Toys, right? I mean, this was never released in retail. Oh, aha, aha, aha. Here's the tush tag. Got that sample tush tag. Well, it just says Angry Birds instead of Angry Birds Rio, but that's a sample tush tag for these. And this is, I guess, one of the only, if not the only, retail yellow cage birds. Ironically, though, it was never released into retail. This is just the sample, but I guess Commonwealth at some point was thinking about releasing this item along with the other 4 cage birds they actually did, but it ended up only going to Good Stuff. So there's that for you. 8-inch development sample yellow cage bird, perhaps the most iconic cage bird. Here's a green cage bird, and this one happens to be 5-inch. So there are 5-inch versions of these as well. Here's the Angry Birds touch tag. And this guy, I think the colors look a little bit different on him compared to the production one, but you're really splitting hairs on this one. I mean, from a distance, they look exactly the same. In fact, up close, they look pretty much the same as well. Maybe it could be just some slight discoloration. Not exactly sure. Here's a purple cage bird. Development sample. Looks identical to the regular one except for the tush tag, of course. One of these could have been the first cage bird ever made. Don't know which one. This is an identical twin. Here's another Stella from her own set, so Stella squared times 2. Alright, I think the rest of these items have some sort of intrigue about them, so let's get into it. Here is a, I don't know what you want to call this, it's not 5-inch, it's not 8-inch, it's kind of 6.5-inch. It's a Princess Leia, okay? What's special about this? Well, it's because you're not holding the item, you don't get a sense of the weight. This thing weighs like a ton of bricks. Well, I don't know about a ton of bricks, but much heavier than it should, right? Around back, there's a Velcro compartment. And inside the Velcro compartment, you will find a battery pack. This thing is full of batteries. Now, unfortunately, the batteries are completely dead. Otherwise, I'd show you what this thing does, but it apparently has some kind of button up here. I don't know if you can hear that. Okay, and in theory, this thing is supposed to make some sort of special sound. So it's kind of like that lightsaber Luke that we looked at earlier. That thing is supposed to have some kind of electronic function. Well, this thing has some kind of electronic function too. So I guess they were planning to release some wave of the Wave 1 Star Wars characters with electronic functions, and this happens to be one of them. And here's another item. So like I said, if you know your Star Wars Wave 1 characters well, you know that they never came with sound chips. Here's an 8-inch Han Solo. Nothing special about this one, right? Look on the other side. Another Velcro compartment down here with a battery pack. This one actually doesn't have any batteries in it. Otherwise, I would show you what this one does. Close that one back up. Give you a good look at the plush. But in theory, you're supposed to press up here where the sound chip would usually be. Instead, there's a button, and he would make some sort of special noise, specific to Han Solo. So kind of like the Wave 2 Star Wars plushies, right? So if you've ever seen the Angry Birds Star Wars cinematic trailer, you know when Obi-Wan Kenobi gives Han Solo the button, as payment essentially, and Han Solo laughs at him. That's the sound that this guy makes. Certainly pretty interesting that they actually took that sound and put it in the plush. That's super cool. It's weird to see a press here tag on a Wave 1 Star Wars plush too. I like that one. That one and Leia. And there's plenty more to come as well, including Darth Vader. And he has a lightsaber blade. So again, like that Luke Skywalker that we looked at earlier, this guy is supposed to have some kind of power function. Now, I cannot for the life of me find a Velcro strap on this guy. He's got nothing. But he does have a button on his lightsaber. And it's not just an embroidered detail either. Or some kind of printed detail as it appears. Okay, this thing actually has a button on the red button. So you can press down, there's something there. And I guess this thing is supposed to light up red, so that way it actually looks like Darth Vader's lightsaber. But this thing's white, and, well, I can't find where you put the batteries in this guy. So, but I guess his lightsaber lights up. So that's really interesting. 8-inch Darth Vader with lightsaber. Let's see, how about this item? We have covered this one extensively on the channel in its own video. The Bad Piggy Bank. And this is the Commonwealth Bad Piggy Bank, not the PPW. Okay? You might be wondering, okay, he doesn't have the white embroidery. Well, I guess they made two different versions. The one that Peter Vesterbacca had happened to have white embroidery and a dollar sign on the side. And, well, this one does not. This one is completely plain. Very interesting to see. And I was told he had a zipper on the bottom. This guy just has a white cork. So that's pretty interesting. And I guess you can put money in there. There's actual coins and you can take them out. It functions like an actual piggy bank. So that's super interesting. Actually, pretty plush-like too. He's a bit hard to squeeze from top to bottom, but side to side, he's pretty squishy. And front to back as well. So, super interesting item there. The actual Bad Piggy Bank. No star, no dollar sign, green embroidery. But it is official Commonwealth. Let's see. Here's another Star Wars item. This one's from Wave 2. Just looks like a regular X-Wing Luke, right? Well, it's got a sound chip, so it must be the unique sound chip, right? Let's try it. Yeah, that's not the sounds he's supposed to make, right? Those are the Chewbacca sounds. And it played them all. I just pressed the button once. It's not like I went 1, 2, 3. It played all 3 sounds. So this must be some kind of development sample for those unique sound chips. I guess they just shoved the Chewbacca one in this plush. So, incorrect sound chip in an X-Wing Luke. And I guess it plays all the sounds, and it still functions. So, that's super neat. Alright, next item. This one may not look like it's anything special. Just looks like a regular 8-inch Bubbles, which, granted, is an item that's pretty sought after, because you don't see these too often. But you might begin to notice this one just looks a little bit off. And it's not because of the pattern or anything. This pattern's pretty much finalized, okay? It's the Tush Tag. 2nd gen. Bubbles was released right at the start of the 3rd gen, so it always has black tags. Around March 2012. This guy, he has a Commonwealth sample tag. So what does it say on the back? It says 8-inch Angry Bird with sound. Globe Bird, December 30th, 2011. So, this is perhaps the first Bubbles plush ever made. Because of that date. This is multiple months before the official release. That is incredible. Now, interestingly, he actually doesn't have a sound chip from what I can tell. Unless it's somewhere I'm not feeling. Sound chip is usually behind his topmost feathers. So that's really fascinating. So you might be able to get your hands on the first Bubbles plush ever made. And I think that's something that's truly remarkable. How about that? 2011 Bubbles 2nd Gen Commonwealth sample tag. Alright, let's get on to some Star Wars stuff again. How about this one? I talked about this one pretty recently. This is Slave Leia from Star Wars Wave 3. I guess it could be from Wave 4 as well, but this character appeared in the Star Wars 1 game, so probably has to be from Wave 3. Wave 4 you would consider to be the Star Wars 2 plushies. This one is pretty amazing, though you can see why it was never made. It's got the braided hair, it's got the bra. Good details. How about another one from Wave 3? Greedo. So, there's one of these out in the wild already. You know who you are who has this one. But 8-inch Greedo plush from Angry Birds Star Wars 1. At least we believe it's from Star Wars 1. It could be a development sample for the Star Wars 2 game, but I doubt it since this character actually did appear in the first Star Wars game as well. This one appears to be based on that design a little bit more, so there you go. 8-inch Greedo. If you haven't seen it before, there you go. What else we got? Let's continue with some more Star Wars characters from the first game, shall we? Go with this one. I think some of you might recognize this item from the Commonwealth Instagram page. Or for some reason they used this one for a May 4th post. This is the first sample of R2-D2. You can see it's super shiny. It's very silky. It's got a different Commonwealth sample tush tag. So this is 8-inch, and we only have versions of this in 8-inch. There are more than one of these. And I can compare it to the production-like version. Aha! R2-D2 here, R2-D2 here. So you can see how much they changed. I mean, the general shaping is, I guess, pretty similar. This one's a little bit more squatty. Here, let me just see if I can get this. There you go. Super interesting to see the development of these items. Both samples, of course. This one, I guess maybe it was licensing, maybe they just didn't think this character would sell very well. It's a little plain. Looks pretty similar to the actual R2-D2 from Star Wars franchise to begin with, so maybe it's not different enough to warrant its own plush. Licensing was a big problem with these plushies, as I've heard. Alright, let's roll on. Star Wars 2. Let's get into that. We start with a 5-inch Boba Fett. Such an iconic plush. I'm sure a lot of you are going to be wanting this one. It's got a jetpack in back. So this is actually the second sample. There is an earlier sample that is a darker green. This is the lighter green version. Nice printed details. And he does have, from what appeared, I mean, it appears that he has an identical pattern to the Jango Fett. So would you look at that? Hashtag twinning. The ears are a little bit different, but the patterns, aside from that, look nearly identical. So we have two 5-inch Fett plushies. Gotta love that. Jetpacks are the same. There are some jetpack variations on these. I'd have to analyze the plushies more to see which ones they actually appear on, but we have a couple of those. Alright, continuing with 5-inch Star Wars 2. Here is another Ewok. This one happens to be 5-inch. And I told you the copyright date on the one earlier was 2012. This one's 2013. So this is potentially a later development sample. And you can also tell it doesn't have the slingshot in the back either. Otherwise, I think it looks the same. Trying out some different things. But 5-inch Ewok. Another Star Wars 2 character, Jar Jar Binks. This one is awesome. I absolutely love the shaping on this one. Such a shame these patterns are so well done. Never see the light of day outside of a Toy Fair picture. He's got the ears, he's got eyes, he's got little eyelashes up there. Nice shaping on the beak. Buck teeth. That is incredible. And interestingly, this one's tush tag has one of the materials crossed out. I don't know if you can see that. But that is awesome. Truly surreal to be holding these. Just see them in one picture for all these years. And my hands are touching these. Like, check this out. Qui-Gon Jinn, my hand, touch. Wow. Look at this guy. I mean, I don't understand. They should have at least released a couple of characters. Like, if we played as Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon and some of the first levels in the game. And all the hair back here. That's awesome. Beautiful pattern. So well done. I mean, these had to be well done so they could sell retailers on these, but unfortunately, none of the retailers bought any of them anyways. And so they just canceled the line. Plus, the licensing fees were horrible. But here is Darth Maul. A lot of people have been asking me about this one. So, 8-inch Darth Maul. Wow, is that awesome. So the eyes are actually just printed on details. They're not even embroidered like they usually are. He's got a bunch of horns up here, 6 of them. That is awesome. A lot of these have teeth. That's fun to see. Here is the Star Wars 2 Lando. 8-inch as well. So, slightly different pattern compared to the Star Wars 1 version. He's got teeth as well. He's got a little mustache. That's awesome. Again, a character we should have at least gotten in Wave 3. I think the Wave 4 one looks a little bit better here. Alright, here's the 5-inch Qui-Gon Jinn, so we have 2 of them. This one is probably the more collectible one. At least it would be to me as a 5-inch collector. I think a lot of you are like that as well. So there's that. Identical to the one we just looked at. Truly a special experience we got going on here. Alright. Let's take a break from Star Wars for a second and check this out. So this might just look like it's a regular red plush, correct? Maybe an 8-inch? I don't know. Maybe it looks a little bit bigger than 8-inch. Perhaps it's a 12-inch. Not that big either. Is it a 10? Is it Good Stuff Toys? No, it's a first-gen touch tag. It's just a regular production touch tag. So what's going on here? Well, you see this giant tag in the back, which obviously you saw that, right? It says 8.5-inch on there. Well, first of all, it says Fantastic Toys Manufacturing Limited sample submission. So this is an 8.5-inch size development plush. So they were experimenting around with different sizes they wanted to produce these in. So they had 5-inch, 8-inch, 12-inch, 16-inch, right? You know, 4-inch, 3-inch backpack clips as well. But the main 4 we all know, okay? Well, they were looking into different sizes, such as 8.5-inch, 10-inch, 14-inch. And here you go. This is a Minion Pig. And this tag actually says a little bit more. So it reveals the date. So it says 3/5/2011. Interesting to see. Never before seen size variation. So I'm sure there's some stray Good Stuff Toys plush out there that's kind of like that. Alright, how about this? We'll go with another never before seen item here. Star Wars. Huh? Young Anakin? Wow. So this one, I think you can clearly tell, based on the glued-on paper details, that this one was super early on in development. Okay? This one never actually made it to the Toy Fair. I think it's for pretty good reason. I mean, the pattern itself looks to be pretty much complete. It's just the details on here are... I mean, they're time-worn at this point. All the glue is come undone. And you can see there's one of the paper details missing up here on his helmet. It's got a sample tag on the back. And what it says... Well, it says May 8th, 2013. So, that's when this guy was made or officially dated. Not exactly sure. Probably around that time, though. Gotta assume that. So, that is awesome. And this is the only one in existence. It only came in 8-inch. They only made it like this. That's truly remarkable. And you gotta be really careful with this one, too, because of the paper details that are falling off. Last 2 items. 2. Alright. These 2 might be the 2 most coveted out of this entire box, though that young Anakin probably has a claim to that throne. Alright, which one should I do first? I'll go with this one first. This is the Angry Birds Go Chuck. Finally seeing the light of day that's not a Toy Fair or Hong Kong showroom. Here it is. That is awesome. So, 4th generation side tag, 4th generation touch tag. So nothing special there, but Obviously, the plush is anything but not special. This thing is completely unique, completely special. Just trying to give you as good of a look as I can. Wow. Again, surreal to be holding these. I'm so blessed to have this opportunity, but I feel like I deserve it. You know, I feel like I've done so much for this community. Add this to my list of charitable acts. Wow. Check this one. This is the Angry Birds Go King Pig. An item that I'm sure so many people in the community will be after. I mean, just look at the shaping on this. I mean, I doubt the official production one would even look this good. And maybe it would. I don't know. But he's got little embroidered spots on him. The crown is extra tall. Probably pretty fragile, too. So be careful with that. No sag tag on this one, but he does have the touch tag. Brilliant. Just brilliant. He's got the little blue jewels on his crown as well. So if you ever want a Toons plush from Commonwealth, well, here it is. All of them can be found in the Angry Birds Go set, because that game used the Toons designs. Brilliant. They did such a good job on those. Such a shame. Alright. I think that's the most exciting part of the video, but stay tuned for box 4, would you? And finally, we have arrived at box number 4. So, box number 4 has a lot of what I like to call miscellaneous items. So let's see where we're getting ourselves into here. We start off, we have an Angry Birds movie red. Interesting tag placement on this one. Usually it's a bit lower on his wing. Here is Bomb. So it looks like we have quite a few production movie plushies in here. Here is Chuck, or as I like to call him, the Chiquita Banana plush. Just slap a blue sticker on him and you got yourself a very fine Chiquita banana. Here is Stella. This one never likes to sit upright on my shelf. Here's Matilda. Always thought Commonwealth did a nice job on their movie set compared to some other brands that will remain nameless. Here's Leonard. These are all 7-inch. The most common size variation for these. Here's another Bomb. And another Stella. And then here's an interesting one. We have the movie Minion Pig. So for those of you who don't know about this item, this guy was never actually put into any retail assortments. Came out a couple months after the initial release. Super cool to see this. This is one of the rarest items in the entire Commonwealth plush range. Yet no one talks about it because, well, I mean, look at it. It's just a regular Minion Pig from the Angry Birds movie. You wouldn't think that's something that's pretty rare, but we'll talk about that some other time in some movie retrospective. Alright, let's get into some more interesting items, shall we? Here's a development 7-inch movie Stella. So never before seen item right here. Check out the head feathers and tail feathers. They're a bit different. Arms are stitched to her hips. 4th gen touch tag. We can compare it to the production variation. Similar, yet different on those two. And then, I think we're getting a little bit more interesting here. We have a full set of 11-inch development movie plushies here. All of them are fully tagged, or at least fully tagged as far as development samples go with their Commonwealth tag. These are all dated June 29th, 2015, so about a year before the movie came out. This is what they refer to as the open mouth pig, or some like to call it Ross. We actually did end up getting this one officially as an 11-inch, but that one never came in 7-inch. Development sample looks a little bit different, and the color looks especially different. Here's the one we didn't get in 11-inch. So this is more akin to the movie Minion Pig that we just looked at, so this one's referred to as the closed mouth pig. So 2 different variations of the pig. And then the 3rd pig, of course, that's Leonard. This one actually appears to be a bit wider. These are all 4th gen tagged, by the way. No movie logos on there. So we do happen to have quite a few of these, but for the purposes of wave 1, we have 1 full set. So here we go. Let's get into some birds. Here is Bomb. So again, these actually do look pretty similar to the production variations, but different, of course. This guy actually feels like he could stand on his own. Here is the Matilda. It's surreal to be holding these. Regardless of your opinion on the movie designs, you gotta like seeing this stuff, right? Here is the 11-inch blue, or blue hatchling. These are super soft, by the way. Though the 11-inch movie plushies were always quite soft, especially compared to the 7-inch variations, which had their shortcut material. And what's cool about some of these are 11-inch, and yet the production variations never came in 11-inch. So, like, here's another example of that. Stella. So Stella was never released in 11-inch. Well, here it is. She just so happens to use a different pattern for the development sample variation. And then here is a very large banana. Chuck. And then we have the main protagonist, Red. It appears that the colors on these are a bit desaturated. It's probably just what they were working with, though. Whenever they create samples, they often just grab whatever color they can. May or may not be indicative of what the final product will look like. Alright, now we have a full set of the backpack clips as well. So, the tag says BPC, so backpack clip, tree kit. So, tree kit will refer to the factory where these were made. These are all dated June 25th, 2015, so 4 days earlier than the ones we just looked at in 11-inch. This guy has a nice big sample tag on him with a sample piece of fabric on him. So, different fabric tests for these. 4th gen push tag. So, like I said, we have a full set of these. So, let's see what we got. Here's Stella. These are quite miniature. They feel a little bit smaller than the production variations. Here's Chuck, or the banana. Here is Bomb. Gotta wonder if they had plans at this point to put the cardboard backing on them or not. Here is Matilda. So there is actually a later development sample variation for each one of these that I believe were actually did for the 29th. This happens to be the earlier test. I think the later ones use a different type of fabric. So this is the open mouth pig. Yeah. Which is one that we never actually got as a backpack clip. Here is the movie minion pig. It's a backpack clip. Not as rare as the 7-inch variation as far as production goes. Here is the Leonard backpack clip. It's kind of cool to see that. Didn't do this one either. I gotta wonder why. And then here is your blue backpack clip. Actually feels a bit bigger than it should be. At least compared to some of the other characters. But I guess that doesn't really matter for the purposes of a sample. Alright, now the rest of these items, I can guarantee you, these are just bizarre. So, we'll start off with some stuff that's pretty normal. So these are the Commonwealth playground balls. This one happens to be one that encompasses multiple characters, it seems. Like a light blue color. Obviously not inflated. Here is a more conventional one. This is blue. These are copyright dated 2012. At least these two are. Though here is a Chuck, and this one is much earlier, because this one uses the original Angry Birds logo. Could have been one that was actually from a toy fair. Guess you'd never know. And then we also have one in a plastic bag. This is a larger one. Actually has more of like a basketball pattern on it. This is a minion pig. And then, I don't even know what to do with this thing. This is literally just a shoe. It's one shoe. We don't have a pair. But it has Bomb's face on it. Now, is this an exploding bomb? Or is this a bomb that happens to be red? Guess we may never know, but I don't know what you would do with this, but you put it on your shelf. You wouldn't actually wear it, right? It's the only one of these in the world. That's pretty neat. I mean, I guess in theory there probably is the other pair out there. Unless there isn't. I don't know. I don't even know what you do with something like this. This appears to be an inflatable beach ball of sorts. So it's got like multiple different colors on it, with the characters' faces. I'll have to inflate these to actually see what they look like. And you'll see that on the eBay listings too. Here's another inflatable of sorts. Perhaps something for the pool. Actually looks like a pig with that green, right? Hard to tell what it is though in that state. Alright. Then go over here. Here's a development sample throw pillow. So you can tell it's obviously a sample because of the Commonwealth tush tag over here. It's got a Red's face on it. Blank on the back. It's two-dimensional with some feathers up here. Super plush though. This would make for a nice item in your Angry Birds man cave. And then we also have a Stella variation. So, same thing. Nothing on the back. Even got the 3 head feathers up here. Nice attention to detail. We have some more throw pillows here. These are for Angry Birds Space. So these would be the ones that you would find in Walmart. In fact, this particular one was made for Walmart because it has the gold Nextroid tag. So how about that? This one happens to have Laser Chuck on it too. And we also have a Super Red. They're blank on the back, so once again, throw pillow. This one actually does happen to have a tag, and once again, it's a gold Nextroid one. So rare variation of a pillow. That red one actually appears to be a bit better stuffed than the Chuck one. I mean, we have another inflatable here. This one might be some kind of wrapped. I'll have to find out. It's huge. Alright, and then we have 2 of these bop bags. I'm sure you've seen a picture of these before. Interestingly, the design for these has a chrome sprite king pig, and the rest are pre-chrome. One says F12, one says H12 on the back, as far as the barcode goes. So, 2 of these bop bags. It'll be an interesting case study to see what exactly you do with an item like that. Alright, then we actually have some flying discs. 2 of them, in fact. So these are the production variation, maybe similar to the item that we looked at earlier. Those were softer. These are hard plastic with a character face on it. 3rd gen, red era. And we have 2 reds. So maybe you want that item as a display piece. Again, might be something cool for the Angry Birds man cave. And then we have some 3-dimensional plush backpacks. So here is blue for the cross-eye design, 4th gen. These are extremely rare, as far as I can tell. I do not see these, at least the non-red, bomb, or minion pig ones pop up very often. Similar to those novelty hats. And speaking of, here's red. This one's a 3rd gen. They're nice and new in the bag. I would humbly implore you not to actually use these. Just keep them as a display piece, because they're pretty cool. I hate to see these things get trashed. And then we also have, along the lines of the blue, we have the Stella. Also 4th gen. Interesting to see that. And once again, with a huge tag similar to those novelty hats. So, more oddities from Commonwealth Toy Novelty. And so that does it for box number 4. And that does it for our unboxing today. So, if any of the items you saw today interest you, be sure to check out the various content drops each Saturday at 8:30 a.m. on my eBay store. Link is in the description. I cannot promise you'll get all the items that you want, but at least give it your best shot. So if you have any comments, questions, or complaints, you can leave them in the comment section below. With that I say, peace out.